the Idaho Painter. In this video, we're going to show you how to install a new packing kit in a Titan LX80 gun. And to start off this task, I got a Titan repair kit, and this kit is a part number 584-045, and this is a repacking kit for an LX80 gun. To start this task off, I've got the gun here, and the back of the gun has got a 3/8" nut on it, and I'm going to start off by unscrewing the back of that gun and the nut off the back. It's going to take several turns to get that nut off, and you're going to be careful when that nut begins to come off. It's going to fall if you don't be careful. We're going to set that. It's just a little tiny nut. We're going to take that little nut, set it aside. The new packing kit comes with a new one, so we don't have to worry about keeping it. Then the back of the gun is just going to come off. There's going to be two little rods we don't want to drop and lose, because those rods are going to be reinstalled, and we'll just clean them off with a rag and then reinstall them. And that's going to expose the back of the needle on this gun. And then we're going to take a crescent wrench and we're going to unscrew the front diffuser off this gun. Begin unscrewing it. Once it loosens up, it actually should just thread off by hand fairly easily. And now I've got the diffuser, and there's two parts inside this diffuser that are going to come out, and there's the seat for the needle, and there's a little tiny nylon washer in there. Now the needle is exposed front and back, and we're just going to want to hammer the end of the needle, the back of the needle, and it's going to pop out the front of the gun. And I'm just going to set my gun down on a surface. I'm going to take a hammer, and you're going to want to get something that you can just put on the end of that needle to pop that thing free. I'm just going to use the end of a socket, and that thing just pops free. And your needle assembly is going to pop right out. And now we're just going to replace those parts with our new parts. I've got the end, the diffuser, and I'm going to use just a little tiny screwdriver. You're going to want to pop out the seat, into the seat of the needle. It's a little flat device like that. There's going to be a new one in your packing kit, and then there's a little tiny nylon washer down in there. Sometimes those washers are difficult to get out, and I just use a little tiny eyeglass screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, to pick and pop that thing out. And there, it just popped out and flew out. And I don't got to worry about it. It just fell on the floor. I'm going to be putting a new one in. I'm going to clean these parts off down inside. I'm going to clean my two little rods off, wipe those things, towel them clean, and then I'm going to get my new packing kit out of the package and begin reassembling this gun. And so you want to be careful in this packing kit. There's three parts. There's your nylon washer, your seat, and your needle. So you got three items. You got your needle assembly, you got your seat, little tiny seat, and then you got your little tiny nylon washer. So I'm going to take my diffuser, and I'm going to drop my little nylon washer. Just drop it on the floor, so drop that thing down inside there. I'm going to press it in so it lies flat all the way down into the diffuser. You could use a flathead screwdriver to help you get that thing to lie down in there flat. I'm going to take my seat, the needle seat, drop that down in there, and that whole assembly should set down in there flat. It's almost, just got to work it down until it gets to the bottom. The little nylon washer is very tight, so got it to the bottom, almost to the bottom now. Make sure you don't damage the washer. Now I can see it's flat. I'm going to drop my seat back down in there, and then I'll begin assembling the rest of the gun. I've got my gun here. I'm going to drop my needle assembly. I'm going to unscrew the new 3/8" nut off the back of the needle assembly. drop my needle assembly down inside the gun. And it'll only go through there one way. It's got a flat side to it, and it's going to drop in there. It's going to fall through and set, and it's got the inside this end of the gun, there's grooves that this triangular portion of the needle will fall into. I'm going to drop it down in there. It's going to fall in those grooves. And now it's ready to set. I'm going to take the diffuser, screw my diffuser on here. I'm going to take my new needle assembly and got it in my hand. I'm just going to drop it down in the gun, and then I'm going to get the back of my gun ready to assemble. I'm going to drop my 2 guide rods down in the gun. I'm going to get the back of the gun, and it'll slide right on. It's got 2 flat sides of the screw. And if you want to set your gun down on a soft surface, something that's not going to score the needle, you can take just like I use a rag or something soft, set it down, and then you push your gun down, and that'll pop the end of the needle assembly up, so you can begin screwing the bolt back on. And I'll get it started here. You can take my 3/8" socket and begin screwing it back on. Once it's started, you don't have to push anymore. Now my bolt is started. Getting it screwed on here. And right when it begins, the end of the needle assembly starts to show through, and I can pull my trigger. It's going to pull the needle back. Now I got my diffuser. I'm going to take my seat in the washer, and you can drop the seat in the washer down in there, and it's going to go flush. It's going to fall all the way down to the bottom. You're going to drop it down in there, and then you're going to screw the diffuser back on the gun. I'm going to pull my trigger down to keep the ball from scoring on the new seat. I'm going to tighten my diffuser down, holding the trigger down the whole time. Once I got this diffuser screwed down and tight, I'm going to come back to the back side of my needle assembly and just snug with my 3/8" socket, snug this down. It'll screw all the way down to, you'll feel it where it gets tight and snug, and now you got your full trigger pull. And then you hook your gun up and test it, make any adjustments to your trigger once it's up and running on your Airless sprayer. This is Chris, the Auto Painter, how to install a new packing kit in a Titan LX80 gun.